Okay, today's day number 7, excuse me. And he's already licked his lips when he came right in. He's came up to get caught much easier today. He's trying to touch the human with his muzzle a lot. So things are definitely getting better. He's getting more and more comfortable with us. And so it's nice. So I'm going to start doing maybe a little bit more with him on the right side again. I'm still, I know it can be like watching paint dry, but I'm going to stay on that 4/4 till I can get to where I can do 20 of them in a row without opposition, without hesitation. I'm a firm believer that once a horse knows what you're asking it to do, which as smart as they are, doesn't take long, that they need to be able to do it several times without opposition, without hesitation. Especially as something as important as steering the horse. If you think about it, steering is probably the most of something that you ever do with your horse, whether it's just leading them from point A to point B, doing groundwork through an obstacle course, tying them up. You're constantly steering them. And if they do not want to be steered in a situation that they know what's being asked of them, it's a problem in the relationship. It's too important to pass up. He's got to know my standards on that, that I'm not going away until he submits mentally that this is all we're going to do until you get it. So I know it can be sometimes a little bit boring, but it's too important to pass up. Okay, I like the forward movement. It's becoming easier and easier to get. So as long as that knot is touching his chin and I'm directing it straight out, I want him to increase his energy. So watch here. I'm going to steer it straight out, and as soon as he increases his energy, I go to neutral and leave him alone. So that's the first thing that I want to do with him several times before we move on, because that's definitely a submission. Okay, here comes the 4/4. Okay, it's getting a lot easier, and I want him to speed up again. Okay, so you can see if I leave him alone, he's already ready to start working his mouth for me here. Okay, he wants to come up, starting to drop his head a little bit. Good. Likes being loved on.
The nice change in him is he wants to be loved on even during a work session, which is huge for him, I would think.
Yes. So you're going to see me start giving him a little pat once in a while, okay? Just to get him used to, just used to it. Let's do a 4/4 again. Little hesitation there. I want him to speed up.
That was pretty good right off the bat to the right.
Right off the start. Okay, there's some good sideways right there. Okay, there's too much hesitation right there for me, so I'm going to push him. But his increased energy is so nice. Today's the first day that I'm going to work on some cantering. I like my horses to be able to canter without a whip. I like them to be able to canter without me having to swing the rope. Now I will if I have to. But I want it just by sliding out. Okay, so let me work on that a little bit. Working his mouth for me. Good stuff. So I want to be able to grab him by the forelock here, along with the halter. See if I can get him to start lowering his head for me. So when I start to groom him up here, he brings his head down instead of bringing it up. He's giving it to me just an inch, a half an inch at a time, kind of. So here, let me ask him to step forward. Half with the hair and half with the lead rope. Then leave him alone. Okay, so he's not going to give me his head. Okay, so I'm going to ask him to do something with his feet. Teach it now. I'm going to ask with just the hair. That doesn't work. I'm going to ask him with the halter and the hair. Okay, I'm going to ask him with the hair. That doesn't work. Halter and hair. I'm going to ask him with the hair. There's a change right there. I'm going to ask him with the halter and the hair, and leave him alone. Okay, I'm going to ask him with his hair, with the halter, leave him alone. I'm going to ask him with the hair, and here he comes with the hair. All right, so just teach him something positive with a part of his body that he doesn't like. I'm not going to be leading him around by his forelock or anything. That's not the point of this. The point is this, to think about something and be able to give to human hands at any oh no and yeah but spot. Okay?
So don't you think it's important when you take something negative out of the horse, instead of leaving it empty, you have to put a positive back in?
Yes, that's a very good point. So when a horse doesn't like them being touched a certain part of their body, okay, instead of just teaching them that you can touch them there, you're much better off in teaching them that to yield the pressure from there. Okay, at every part of their body, whether it's their tail, their chest, it doesn't matter, their muzzle. If a horse doesn't like to be bitted, instead of just getting where you can rub him here at the muzzle, get him to where he can come with pressure and give to pressure. Like, look at this. This is just a lot of resistance here. So I'm going to untrack him, and as soon as he follows me, look at that resistance in that outside foot. Okay? He's not even considering giving. He's thinking more of leading. Okay? That's nice. So here again, let's ask him to move forward with his muzzle. Resistance. I'm waiting for that left front foot to come with me. He'll yield the rear end, but he won't come. There we go. Look at that. Good. Throwing him a curveball. All right, so here again, he from his forelock here, he was moved away from me. So let me see if I can get him to come to me a little bit. Look at that. Good. Okay, let's try to, his head's coming down. Let's try to lead him by his muzzle. Okay. Very quickly, you see how he learns. Okay, we're going to back him up by his muzzle. Then bring him forward by his muzzle. Whenever you ask him to back up, there's always opposition coming forward until they get comfortable with it. Back him up and bring him forward. He doesn't even consider it. After backing him up. Looking for that left front foot to follow me here. Leave him alone and rub him. forward. Okay. Looking for the right front foot to follow me. Good. Back him up. Come forward. All right. That's the first time. All 4 feet to move. There. And see, that alone is going to get him to start dropping his head and working his mouth. Look at that. Just trust. So I can work him hard and get him sweaty and exhausted and start to do some of this stuff with him. I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so what I want to do with the head, when I go to teach him to come to get his fetlock, or his forelock, I'm sorry, when I teach to get his forelock and he starts to back away from me, I'm going to ask him to come forward, okay? Change his mind. A little bit of reverse psychology. Okay, not only is he going to pet me, okay, oh my God, he's going to pet me, but here, he's going to ask me to come forward, and he'll start giving me his head. Look at this. Okay? So, very soon, I'm going to be able to not only have him move forward by his forelock, but I'm going to, and see, all I did was touch him between his ears, and now look what I got. That's okay. To change a behavior, you have to bring it out. So just get something positive. A lot of thought going on in this guy's mind. Hands here and back him up. I'm going to bring him forward. Keep him between my 2 hands here. Back him up. And then when I go to rub on him, I want him to start thinking forward with the forelock. When I need the halter, I'm going to go ahead and use it. When I need the halter, I'm going to go ahead and use it. Okay, so all it took me was to take his forelock with my other hand. And all it did, now the skepticism comes right back. Let him detox a little bit. Look at that. Good stuff. So when I reach for his head, okay, I want him to think, okay, he's going to ask me to come forward instead of get away from me. It's like Michelle said, teach him something positive. Okay, look at that. He's working his mouth today way more than he has in the past.
I knew the change was coming when last time Eric worked him, Blaze started touching Eric with his muzzle a lot, and that's big for a wild horse.
It is.
You know there's some positive stuff going on.
So he's getting the release. Okay? I give him back his head when he touches my body with his muzzle there. So I'm going to do this today until when I go to reach for him, he'll actually either come with me or reach back for me or not move. Okay. So instead of doing what he's doing now, which is being a little evasive here, okay, I'm going to keep doing it today until he does it. So here again, the forelock, and come forward. Have a purpose in what I'm doing with it. It's all about the feet with these guys. Okay, touch my side here, and I let him go. Okay, here's a change right here. Almost made it. Bring him over a little bit more. Right, that's the furthest I've been able to bring him around. I've got to get him away from being so defensive. Okay, there's a change. Like this is the furthest here. All right, it's the furthest I brought his head around. Right there, he's touching me, which is good. Alright, so that little intimate stuff going on there is something I'm going to do with him every time I get around him, and then we can go ahead and move him again. So I've kind of got it broken up into a couple of stages. One of them is just moving, and the other one is giving. And I'm talking about giving to all his body parts that he's got trouble with. So let's get him to canter here.
Untrained horses, they don't understand the difference that there's walk, trot, and canter. They don't have just 3 gaits in their mind. You know, that's why Eric will release him when he just picks up speed. You know, some horses may have 4 speeds at a walk, some may have 6 speeds at a trot before they canter. And for right now, Eric's trying to recognize that with him and let him know, yes, I want you to pick up speed. So Eric will just trot him so fast that he has to canter to keep up with it.
Here I'm working on sideways. There it goes. 4/4. And some energy. Sideways. 4/4. Some energy. Sideways. 4/4 with some energy.
So his problem switching to the right is almost non-existent today.
Yeah, it's getting better. Sideways. 4/4. Some energy. Sideways. Here's some and energy. I'm going to get ready to work his mouth to give it to me nice here. Got to have energy. There's some nice sideways. Energy. Energy is the first and last ingredient that I need. Sideways, very little, and energy, and energy, and energy, and energy. there's what I'm looking for, and I'll leave them alone. That's the ingredient. That's the one I was looking for right there. Going to work his mount for me big time. Wants to come in and get some love. So I'll go ahead and bring him in. Nice forelock here. Use the halter when I need it. Use the halter until I don't need the halter. There we go. Good. His head's a little higher than I want it, so I'm going to come up and back him up with the muzzle, and then ask him to come forward. He's stuck with that right hind leg over there. There it comes. Still very stuck. Okay, back him up and bring him forward. Good. Back him up and bring him forward. Better. Good. Back him up. All right, I was able to stop him good, but he didn't come forward for me. So I'm going to stay with this until I can back him up and bring him forward without having to untrack him like I am here. Back him up and bring him forward. Back him up. Back him up. Back him up. So I'm going to do a little curveball. He weighs 1,000 pounds in my hands right now. His nose is sweating where I've been touching him. He wants to make a commitment, but he's just like, you know what? I just can't. There's a change. Back him up and bring him forward. As soon as I back him up, he completely locks down on the forward. Backing up is not a problem. He's good at that. Now if that rope is on the ground, he's like, oh, now I really can't come forward there. Back him up. Okay, this is his best try right here. Back him up and bring him forward. I could get a whip and touch him and make him do it, but that's not what I'm after with this guy. Okay, there's the biggest change so far. Okay. That was my fault there. He wants to put his head down. And I had the halter where he couldn't very good. Kind of ruined it there for him. forward again. Use the halter. This is so easy to teach a horse that's not so skeptical. But a horse that's skeptical, I mean, you can teach him something and 20 seconds try it again. That's why you just have to stay after him. And this is all skepticism and lack of trust. So I just have to, every time I attempt to do it, I have to follow through. One day I'll reach for him and he'll reach for me. We could be 2 weeks away from that still. What started this is that every time I went to move his hair out of his eyes, he would back up.
So again, you're not just getting him where you can pet his forehead, but you're doing something positive with it by getting him to come forward.
Correct.
There you go.
Much better.
Because when we first got him, every time you petted his forehead, his ears went flat back.
Yeah. So again, this is the slow way of doing things. I could get a carrot stick or a whip and rub him all over the place, but he's showing me his true feelings. I mean, when a horse, there's a difference between I can't and I won't. And this horse has a lot of I can't right now. And with that, I'm very patient. But with a horse who just says, you know what, I'm tired and I'm not going to do it, that's another issue. But his is, I can't do that. I can't move forward from my muzzle. You know, every molecule of my DNA says don't do that. Don't give to a predator trying to bring you forward by your nose. Don't let him twitch you and get control of your feet. So, to me, it's very important. Now, if this guy were overconfident in the horse-human relationship to the point where he just didn't care, well, then I'd be in here with a stick, carrot stick, or a whip, working him in another fashion. But this guy here has never gotten this kind of stuff that he needs to get. I mean, he's been ridden before you can ride the guy. He's gotten a saddle on him before you can pick up his feet. It's crazy. Everything has been done backwards with this guy. A lot of mistrust. He's been roped and all that stuff. So all that pressure around his head is negative. The fact that he can do that next to me is just trust. He can itch himself. He's never done anything like that in my presence, me being close to him. Reached down and itched himself. Okay, so he's starting to understand that we're going to be just fine. But I got to earn it. It's not going to come easy. So I hope you're enjoying this, because I am going to go the slow way on this. There's going to be times where I'm going to say, okay, we got to move forward. Like if I was still here a week from now, then we're going to move forward. We're going to do something. I'm going to do something different. But not yet. We're not at that point yet. Thanks.